there is of course differences between Denmark, Sweden and Norway, but the similarities are so much bigger than the differences. So it makes sense to speak about Scandinavia. And I consider myself to be Scandinavian. I'm married to a Swedish woman, and her mother was Norwegian. I went to school in Denmark. I work sometimes in Denmark. It's it's brothers and sisters, you know. It's and the political system and the recent history is not very different if you take the last 100 years. If you go further behind, of course there are differences. We have the Norwegians has always been the little brother. We have been taken by Denmark. We have been part of Denmark for 400 years. We've been part of Sweden. They have never taken us seriously until maybe recently, where we are very rich because of pure luck. Not because of our skills, but because of pure luck. Yeah. And we have always watched Danish television programs, dramas, Swedish films, Danish music, Swedish music, books, etc. And they have never really been interested in our books, films, drama, music. So there's a mismatch there. But I think we are catching up with them. I think most Danish and Swedish people now understand that Norwegian literature is not at all bad, you know, maybe even more interesting than their own. The Norwegian films are coming more and more, traveling more and more. Things are happening, but the balance is in movement. So yeah, it's not a bad period to be Norwegian, actually. I'm not anti-state, but I am not always comfortable either with the state that is so strong. I don't think I have the same tendency as many Scandinavians do to trust everything the state does or says. I'm a little bit more skeptical than that. But the big difference is that the Scandinavian states, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, they haven't been hurting their people for a long time, and never, probably. Whereas the state, you know, in here, former Soviet Union, or in China, or we can name a lot of examples, it has been hurting their people, and sometimes still today they are. In Syria, look at Libya, etc., etc. And this is very different. Then, if you experience that, you cannot trust anyone, you cannot trust anything at the end. But the Scandinavian systems, they actually work, and they don't harass people. You can say what you want, you can do what you want. So this is clearly a good thing, and I'm not at all against it. But I have still, as a person, as an individual, I have a problem with marching, you know, in a great line with other people also marching, being happy about things, etc. It's not my instincts go against this. So and there is a certain lack of personal initiative in all of this. The Scandinavian societies are societies where we are all taken care of. Even you can't really fall all the way down because someone will catch you. Whereas probably here, or at least many other places, you can't fall all the way down and no one will catch you. That's of course not good, but I have some kind of instinct saying that the personal initiative and the part of it where you're responsible for your own well-being, it shouldn't go to the extremes like in the United States and some other places, but it should be part of life. And I think that it's not enough personal initiative in Scandinavia. People are not wanting to do things hard enough, And I really respect that. If you really want to do something and you do it and you never give up, etc., it's the kind of American dream that all the films and popular culture is about. But it's something about it that's very true. You can follow your dream. There is a heaven, there is a hell. You can become extremely rich, extremely successful. You can fall very, very low down. There is a dynamic in this that I like, and that's not really part of Scandinavian life as I see it. I don't want to be a prisoner of this logical storytelling tradition with the people having a problem, developing it, suddenly realizes things and changes, and then at the end they have understood something new, and it's a new day, it's a new dawn. As a spectator of films or a reader of books, I can appreciate these long arches, these changes, but when I write myself, I think it's too... how should I say it? It's too obvious in a way, and it's not what triggers my my energy and my ideas at all. I'm much more interested in small situations, dialogues, having absurdities occurring, just to be free in a way, to surprise myself, to follow whatever flow will be in my head. And this is not very compatible with writing a traditional psychological story with development and changes and realizing this and that. So I'm not so interested in this change, the game of change. I like short, concise, precise writing. I like long writing too, but when it's really properly done, like War and Peace or Moby Dick, these books could not be shorter. They are wonderful, and you want to have every page of it. But at the same time, the clarity and the shortness of it could be Hemingway books, or it could be Thomas Bernhard. I don't know if he's known here or translated here, but
not yet.
He's an Austrian dead writer, being very sarcastic about his homeland. His books are very short and fantastically precise, and this is some kind of goal for me. I just published a book this autumn. I think it ended up being a couple of 100 pages, whereas my intention was to have it on like 80 pages or something. And that's very difficult, It's much easier to write 180 pages than 90 pages.